Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Overbite Gaming. Today we're taking a look at Red Dead Redemption Remaster. That's a fuck ton of R's there. Okay, so this is the Windows port that finally came, what was it, 14 years after the original release. It's been the one I've been waiting for because I really, really like Red Dead Redemption. I think it's Rockstar's best game. And although Red Dead Redemption 2 is still a good game, I think it loses something. We have reviewed it, and I think they paid more attention to stuff like shrinking horse testicles than actually the game itself. But it's still good. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. I just think this one's better. So getting a remaster on a PC where I don't have to suffer 30 frames is very nice indeed. I'm quite happy. So I will just give you a brief rundown on the old game because obviously it is an oldie coming out originally in 2010 on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. But I'll give you a quick rundown if you don't know. So you play as John Marston, who has been, shall we say, convinced by the Federal Bureau of Investigation to hunt down his former gang members. Otherwise, his wife and child might come a cropper. Classy government. So you start off by going after Bill Williamson, get shot, get rescued by a rancher, healed up, and then you're on your way, earning money, buying guns, and just generally being a fucking cowboy. And I love the fuck out of it. It's great. The game itself is very much about the death of the West. It's set pretty late in the period, 1911. So like the railroads coming, civilizations coming to these dusty old towns, the way of life for the outlaw is changing, and John sees it. As he goes through the game, it's apparent to him that his way of life is no longer viable, or will shortly not be viable. In opposition to that, you have characters like Dutch, who is the leader of John's old gang, who very much hates the government and hates progress and civilization and wants to retain that lifestyle that he's lived for so long. Wow, it's an interesting thing for a fucking cowboy game, I'll tell you. So in terms of, if I was to compare it to 2, there's only a few bits I really miss from 2. And that is the upgrading of the guns. In this, you just buy them. There's no customization or upgrading them, giving them longer barrels, shit like that. Which is a little bit of a shame because I did enjoy that, and I could tune my loadout a bit more precisely. But it's certainly a whole lot different from Red Dead Revolver, which I have done a Let's Play for. Which took me a long time to actually get working on an emulator, but there you go. So, when it comes to the remaster, it is definitely a remaster. It's not like a new version of it or anything. You can clearly see they're using the same textures, just upscaled. It was a very good looking game back in the day on the PS3. It's still a very good looking game now. All of the different graphical elements come together and make the Old West, I said the Outback, just a very nice place to look around. It's legitimately beautiful, and the upscaling is done well. I captured the footage at 1440p, even though you're seeing it at 1080. You see I'm getting very respectable frame rates. I do believe DLSS is on balance, but everything else is... quality, sorry, it's on quality. But everything else, in terms of settings, is jacked right to the max. So it's a better looking game now than it was, probably even when it was re-released for PlayStation 4 and Switch, I think it was. Last year. Sorry, hiccup. So I was in the mind of I don't know if I should buy. It was kind of like Until Dawn kind of thing. It was slightly cheap, but I think it was £10 cheaper than Until Dawn, which is why? Why is it that expensive? So I didn't have too many. I knew it was a good game. I knew it wasn't like a fully redone version. It was just we've polished up the original game essentially, and that's what it is. If you like Red Dead Redemption, you want to play it over 100 frames a second at 4K, fill your boots. And, you know, why wouldn't you? It's a fantastic game. I certainly, I kind of wish they would do something similar to a Revolver. I know it's clunky and frustrating and very linear and level-based, but I'd kind of like to see that. Maybe, like, thrown out for, like, 20 quid or something, you know? That'd be cool. But outside of that, there's not a whole bunch to say. It's a fantastic game. I think it's a better game than 2, personally, even though I think 2 is probably the media darling out of the pair, even though this was universally praised when it came out, but certainly I think a lot of people feel like 2 usurped it. And certainly from a graphical standpoint, that is the case. As I said, it's not redoing the graphics, it is just upscaling them and sort of blurring the edges, if you like, just so it looks a little bit better. But you can tell that that's where the assets came from, the old version that they've tinkered with to get looking a bit nicer. And running it at 144 frames a second plus is also really nice, although I'm not quite getting that on my rig. Hopefully one day we can all dream about getting a swanky graphics card. But so yeah, that's my quick review of Red Dead Redemption. If you want to play at a higher frame rate and you like it, which I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't, there's your game. Go get it. And it's not, you know, I think it was like 50, like it's $49.99 I think, which when you consider that some games come out at $69.99, it's not too bad. It is a remaster of a 14-year-old game. There is that element to it. So if you don't want to buy it, you can just play the original on either of the last 2 generation PlayStations or the 360. So there's no one forcing you, but if you want it, you know, it's there. It does come bundled with Undead Nightmare. I'll be honest, I was never really a fan of that. I didn't like the whole limited ammo thing. I quite liked being able to, like... I know they dropped ammo and stuff, but yeah, maybe I just didn't play it enough. I'll give it another go on this version, see if I get any better at it. I think that was a skill problem rather than anything else. Anyway, guys, take it easy. I'll catch you next time.